if I get. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios YouTube channel. We are live on this Saturday evening. It is April 25th, 2026. So I wanted to get to a couple of topics that we were not able to hit on yesterday's live stream. Hope everybody's having a wonderful start of the weekend. I guess we're midway through of the weekend. Got done checking up on some NFL draft stuff. Go Chiefs. Running some errands today, and but I wanted to make sure I get this live in today because it's a freaking amazing story that we're gonna jump into. If you have not, if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, and look, we don't do a lot of business talk. I'll dabble in it every now and then. But look, this channel is all about technology, everything technology, mobile tech, economics and technology, reviews, news. We do everything here. I know some people, I've been told I just need to have, if I have a tech YouTube channel, I just need to focus on reviews, right? Or I just need to do the news and separate them. Nah, I'm good. I'm going to do whatever I want on this channel. And look, even if you're not too big in the tech business world, and look, I pay attention to it. I'm not like, I don't follow it all day every day, but I check up on it, right? It's important regardless. If you just love technology, if you just use your phone, or if you just love phones, or say you're a big nerd in gaming or in the computer world, maybe you're a coder, a programmer, it can and will directly affect you individually watching this video, as far as the news goes, as far as what's going on business wise. And you don't have to have a major in economics to understand this, right? And I certainly don't have a degree in economics. I did take a college course in economics, but if you just know the basics, and that's what we're going to go over today, the basics. I'm not going to extensively dive into this, and we're not going to be like, what's that guy's name that's on like CNBC? What's his name? Is it Not Kramer, right? We're not going to be Kramer over here yelling, and my blood vessels aren't going to be popping out of my head, but we're going to touch on Intel, their turnaround, because it's definitely classified as a turnaround. Intel is back, and we're going to discuss it, but we're also going to discuss Apple and what they have planned for the future. I think we've talked about this once or twice. They have I guess technically right now, Tim Cook's still the CEO of Apple, but this past week he announced he's not necessarily retiring. He's actually still going to be employed by Apple. He's moving into a executive role in the front office, and they will have a new CEO, however, who will be technically, I guess, the face of the company. You're going to see Apple, you're going to see a lot. And I called this about a year ago, because there were rumors that Tim Cook was going to step down from his role at the CEO spot. And I told y'all, there's going to be this young guy coming in. He's only a few years older than I am. And Apple is going to change drastically, just literally in the next few years. Now, I like Apple's hardware. I just don't like their software. So you're going to see visual changes on the hardware side with this new CEO. Because look, you have a lot of pull when you're the CEO. If you want to do something totally drastic or change course, you can do that as the CEO. Now, obviously you have to get votes from the board of directors and stuff, but you're going to see them have big changes. So we're going to jump into what the potential 20th anniversary and or the 20th edition iPhone 20 is going to look like. Some of y'all are going to be shocked, but we have early indications of what it's going to look like, and I think you will be shocked. So appreciate everybody for joining us today. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining me. Hockey here. I live in South Texas. We have, or no, we used to have. They're not here anymore. I've been to one. It's like minor league. I think it's like double A. It's comparable to like double A baseball, right? For if hockey is, if the NHL is like quadruple A or the majors, this is like double A hockey. I can't even remember the name. I was a kid. This was years ago, but I did go to a hockey game. They played in the same arena that the Spurs played in. Anyways, yeah, it's a good sport, but it's not popular down here. Well, in the U.S. it's popular, but mostly in the northern states. Down here in the South, not popular. It is exciting though. I do like sports, period. So I could sit down and watch a hockey game. In fact, I was a big Avalanche fan, Colorado Avalanche. I actually, I take that back. When I have family members that live in Colorado, and I just remembered we went to a couple of Colorado Avalanche hockey games, hockey matches, but this was years ago. But so yeah, I was a big fan of theirs. So anyways, thank you for joining us today. So let's get into Intel. But first, I want to remind you that the eSIM Studios YouTube channel is sponsored by Lyca Mobile. Lyca Mobile is a fantastic cellular network provider. They have fantastic deals right now. I was just checking them out a couple of days ago to look into to see what different plans they have. Now they have about take that back. They have about 6 or 7 plans. All of them are really good deals, just depending on who you are as far as how much data and or services you need from them. Each one of these plans are dirt cheap, but they don't skimp you out on the data, right? They're using the big name carrier towers, so you're getting the same service for a fraction of the price. So I'm just going to bring up 2 real quick. I have to offer for you, and the link is down below in the description. Lyca Mobile offers, one of their fantastic plans is 18 gigs of data per month, 10 gigs of hotspot data per month, and this is 5G high-speed data. They have unlimited talk, unlimited text to over 100 countries for only $7.50 per month. Now, if you want to go unlimited, they have a unlimited data, unlimited talk, unlimited text for only $18 a month. That's better than, I think, any. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to find a deal better than that. So, and again, it is good service. It's not the cheap stuff. It's cheap for you coming out of your pocket, but it's not cheap for you coming into your phone, if you get what I'm saying. So go check them out. Links are down below in the description. Lyca Mobile. Okay, let's see here. S24 Ultra battery life sucks after April security update, and when trying to chat in YouTube. Vertical and recent back buttons are in the way. Have to turn phone horizontal. Just to chat, how to fix. Yikes. Did you see the YouTube shorts that I uploaded? I could not upload it fast enough. I literally, once I saw that story, I was out and about running errands today, and I came across this story, and I was like, holy crap, this is the same bug. And I think you've been around the channel for a while. It's the same bug that I had in my S25 Ultra. I was called out. People called me a liar, not you. But I'm saying people, I can pull up comments where people are saying, there's no way your battery drains that fast. All sorts of stuff. I'm like, I'm just telling you what it's going through. This is the same bug. It popped its ugly head up again. And now it's in the April security patch. So I uploaded a short telling everybody, please don't update your devices if you have an S25 series or an S24 series. Absolutely do not upgrade to the April security patch until Samsung. They're working on it. Samsung is working on an emergency update. I did some digging around the internet. I even reached out to an old Samsung rep. Well, not an old Samsung rep, but I reached out to a contact I have that they're employed by Samsung to ask them, hey, can you give me a statement? Can you tell me something so I can tell the viewers? what's going on. They are working on an emergency update. So at the moment, here's the deal. If you want, the only way to get back your previous battery life into where it was before this update, you have to boot it into safe mode. But here's the problem. Booting it into safe mode, you don't have the full capacity of your phone, meaning some of your apps aren't available, like third-party apps are not available in safe mode. It's just the apps that came on your phone. Samsung uses that safe mode for times like this, where if there is something drastically wrong with your phone, you can boot it into safe mode to make a call, make a text message, possibly get on Chrome that came loaded with the phone. But at the moment, there is no fix. I don't even think you can roll it back, to be honest with you, because Samsung discontinued the use of Odin. Odin is a computer program that I used to use almost on a daily basis back in the day when I used to flash ROMs and do a bunch of customization and modifying the software on these phones. I used to use Odin. Is a Samsung software where you can flash kernels, software updates onto your phone. I used to use Odin to roll phones back. Samsung put out a statement, and I didn't even say anything about it because that XDA world, the custom ROM stuff, is kind of, nobody's doing that anymore. So I saw that and was like, oh, that sucks. This was maybe 6 months ago. So if that was available right now, I would tell you, I would probably get with you after the stream and, walk you through it or tell you how to do it, but you can't even do that now. So at the moment, there is no fix. And it sucks, right? Trust me, I know how it is. My S25 Ultra was ridiculous. I'm telling you, it would die within hours, literally a few hours, it would be dead. It was so bad, I just threw it to the side and used another phone. It would constantly be plugged in. So, damn, am I cut off? What the hell? So, at the moment, there is no fix. Yeah, you did. Try to restart, force stop, clear cache. Yeah, nothing works. What about the chat problem in YouTube? Is this related to the battery issue? Hate having to turn my phone sideways just to chat. Hard to tell. If you just noticed this after updating your phone, it probably is due to the update. So what I would do is go to the YouTube app, go to the Play Store, see if you have an update for it. If you do update it, restart your phone. If there is no update for it, what you might do is try clearing the cache in the data from the YouTube app, or go open up YouTube, swipe, and then go back home, and then go to your recents. And when you see YouTube pop up, long press on the YouTube icon when you're in the recents menu, and then go to app info, and then scroll down to storage, clear cache, clear data, and then reopen it and see if that'll help. Sometimes when I've had issues with YouTube in the past, I'll do that and it'll fix it for a day or two. And then sometimes in the past, the issue would reappear after, I don't know, a day or two. But if you've noticed it only after the update, that's probably what the issue is. I wonder if there is a way. I'm gonna look into this after the stream, because it's not like you're in a beta program where you can send issues and or bugs to the developers. I'm assuming you're on the stable version. So yeah, I don't know. You've tried all that? Yeah. At this point, I just don't know. Now, what you can do is you can download, or excuse me, you can get on YouTube on your browser. Now, you're going to have to, you can sign in on your browser and everything. I'm not sure what the experience would be like on there. Now, you're going to have to disable the YouTube application, because when you open up YouTube in the browser, it's going to push you, redirect you to the application. So you're going to have to freeze the app or disable YouTube, and then go jump on Chrome, type in YouTube, and you should be signed in if you're using the same account as you have on your default on Chrome, and you can do it that way. I'm trying to think, are there third-party apps that route through YouTube that you could use? I wish there was like a YouTube Lite or something. You know how Facebook has a Facebook Lite, or Google Maps has a Maps, what do they call it, Go or something? Try using your browser. I mean, I have no idea, but that would be, I guess at this point, I just don't know. Hopefully Samsung is going to have this update out, this fix out within the next week or so. You know, this just now started gaining attention, I think yesterday, today, because I'm all over the news all day, every day, and this is the first time seeing it. But I did a deep dive earlier today and was looking into it, so now it's starting to get attention. That's why I was trying to put it out as quick as I didn't even wait till I got home. Samsung is aware of it, and they're doing something to fix it now. It is the weekend, but you know, I'm sure they can work from home. I don't know how they have it set up, but they are working on it. Hopefully this week we will get a solution. So I'll let everybody know, and I'm sure you'll see it on your phone. But as soon as I hear something, I'll let everybody know. So yeah, that sucks. And I know a lot of people have the S25 and S24 series. I know S26 series, especially the Ultra, is breaking a lot of sales records, but there's a lot of people that did not upgrade that still have the S25 series or an S24 series. So it sucks. It really does. Okay. Yeah, no problem. And if I hear anything, I'm still gonna be in the threads. I'm still gonna go back to the Reddit thread where I originally saw this, and some other stuff on Twitter. If somebody finds a fix, or even with the YouTube thing, I'll look into that. I'll let you know. I'll put out another short or something, or mention it on my next live. But I'll definitely put it out there if I see about a potential fix to any of this, for sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I've been seriously, not necessarily switching, but I guess I would still keep my S26 Ultra, but I'm seriously considering getting an Oppo phone this week or next week here, and just using that as my main phone. So again, it kills me to see Samsung put not the best specs in there, and you're paying top dollar for these phones when, you know, you can go get an Oppo phone and it literally has the best specs of any phone in the world for, you know, same price. So I'm like, what the hell am I doing? But Samsung's popular here, and I'm still gonna have to keep one around for the channel, but it is what it is. So, and I got a lot of other Samsung products too, so you know how that goes. But let's get into Intel. So you're very welcome. I wanted to jump into Intel. Everybody's familiar with Intel, right? I mean, at this point, everybody's familiar. I remember being a little kid with Intel in my dad's PC, using his PC, right? Powered by Intel. Everybody remembers that blue logo. Intel used to dominate the computer space, the computer world. Intel PCs, Intel CPUs used to power, I think, almost every single PC. Now, there were some other competitors that fell by the wayside as time went on, but Intel it's been a rocky road, but Intel has clearly at this point weathered the storm, and it looks like they're on track to potentially being the best CPU manufacturer again. Now, going back, 20 years, you get the introduction of AMD, and just in recent memory, I would say in the last 10 years, I even made the switch to AMD, because as Intel was very strong starting out, when I'm going to go back 20 years, it kind of fizzled out maybe about 10 years ago. as far as their production. AMD, as I mentioned, came to the market and with a whole new strategy, a whole new product, and just made a better product than Intel did, a better performing product, and they were cheaper than Intel. So a lot of the industry shifted towards AMD. Even I did, right? For, I would say, the last 10 years, out of all the PCs I've purchased, and I don't purchase one every year, but at least every other year, and I have, a kid in school now, so I buy PCs regularly. I would only get AMD in the last 10 years, right? They were cheaper and they were more powerful. And within those 10 years, you see Intel, they used to power MacBooks, and Apple dropped Intel to manufacture their own CPU for their own products. And Intel basically hit bottom barrel within the last 3 years. Now, I've been eyeing their stock maybe in the last year, and it bottomed out right at about, I don't know, let's pull it up. So let's see here. So it bottomed out, I would say, 5-year max, right around, what are we in? So it got down to $33 a share, $27 a share, right around 2023. This only goes back 5 years, right? They jumped up late 2023 to $50, but just recently they essentially bottomed out at about $20 per share, $19 per share at the end of January 2025. And do you remember, I think when Trump was first elected, again, this is pretty recent. So this turnaround that they've been making is shocking, is jaw-dropping, right? So I went back 10 years. AMD got introduced to the market. They provided a fantastic product. Intel gets dropped by Apple for making their own CPUs, and Intel looked dead in the waters. They were not providing a good product. Their CPUs, I tried one Intel. I take that back. The one Intel product. See, and I even tried to go back to Intel maybe right before. I think right when I started this YouTube channel, right before 3 years ago. I bought a Samsung Galaxy Book 3. It had an Intel i7. It was like 12th gen, maybe 11th gen, maybe 10th gen. I can't remember, somewhere around there. And it was unusable. It automatically overheated. And that's a common story you'll hear recently with Intel. So Intel went back to the drawing board. They were dead in the waters. When Trump got elected, he was essentially trying to broker deals, trying to help Intel find partners to get them back on track. Now, meanwhile, while they bottomed out, they went back to the drawing board and said, "Hey, we need to rethink things." Right? It's like when you hit rock bottom, or when a company hits rock bottom, you cannot continue moving. You cannot continue doing the same things you were doing, because that's what got you there to rock bottom. Something has to drastically change, right? Whether you're a company or a person. So they went back to the drawing board. Remember, this is recently. And they had this crazy idea, this new way to manufacture CPUs. They've always dabbled in this new manufacturing process, but never really went all in on it. And when they hit rock bottom as of just a few years ago, just about a year ago, 18 months ago, they said, you know what? Let's give this new manufacturing process a shot. What do we have to lose? Right? We're essentially all going to get fired anyways. The company's essentially going to be folding, right? Our products suck. Nobody's buying our products. Nobody's using us to manufacture products. So they went all in on this new manufacturing process. And I heard whispers about this new CPU Intel has, and they made a good CPU. Now, the computer I'm streaming on right now is the CPU that Intel put out, not their most current Panther Lake CPU. That's the mind-blowing product that they just brought to the market as of last month. My CPU I'm on right now, that I'm streaming on right now, is the one before that. And that was on their new process, their new node, their new manufacturing process. And it's a really good CPU. It really is. But this Panther Lake takes it one step further. More power, it generates more power and it's more efficient, meaning it generates higher scores, more performance on less power. So Intel's, I say all that to say this. Intel's, look at the stock price right here. Look at this stock price. Intel's Q1 2026 earnings call revealed significant stock gains driven by exceeding revenue guidance and strong Q2 projections, with notably growth in foundry and data center and AI segments. Despite a slight dip in client computing due to economic pressures, so Intel Foundry division showcased impressive progress. This brand new 18A process node yielding ahead of internal projections, signaling crucial inflection point in execution and output, which is vital for supporting current and future product lines. So development of the 14A process node, and we're going to get into what that is in a second, is also progressing very smoothly, outpacing the current 18A at a similar stage and showing potential for early external customer commitment starting in the later half of this year. So in the data center and AI segment, Intel expressed confidence in its competitive edge through advanced packaging and foundry level integration for XPUs, including a quietly expanding GPU team focused on inference accelerators. So the chief financial officer, David Zinzer, highlighted the evolving total addressable market for AI, suggesting that an agentic workloads growing CPUs could potentially outnumber GPUs in future deployments, a scenario where Intel's packaging and supply chain control would be advantageous. So while Intel's AI accelerator offerings are developing, their true market impact against competitors like AMD remains to be seen, though the company's strategic focus on inference accelerators and potential shift in CPU and GPU ratios and AI workloads indicate a significant area to monitor. So this new process node, that the 18A that they're on at the moment, is the Panther Lake. This is the one we were all hearing whispers about rolling into CES this year, that all we heard is that Intel has something very, very special on their hands. They have this brand new product's going to be earth-shattering performance, and it's not going to use that much power, on a fraction of the power that even the previous generation used. Now I must add that Qualcomm is making strides in computing. Qualcomm with the ARM chipset, meaning like the same architecture that your phones use, they're putting in computers, and mainly in laptops. Well, that's just more competition for Intel. Intel was needed to produce high-performing CPUs, but use less power, right? You want long battery life and you want very strong performance. Well, they hit the sweet spot with this Panther Lake CPU with the 18A node. What also shot their stock prices up. Look at their stock price right now, currently $82.57 per share. Boy, oh boy, I think I mentioned this twice in the last 6 months, keeping an eye on Intel stock. I was going to buy it at $23, and I didn't. And then I was like, holy crap, it doubled. I was going to buy it at $44. And this was just a week ago. And I didn't. So where are we at? Check this out. It was, what is it? The 25th. Let's go back a month. So look at this. Just a month ago. No. Yeah, about 25 days, but just over 3 weeks ago, it was at $41 a share. It literally doubled in about 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. 3 weeks. Doubled in 3 weeks. And I remember telling myself, damn, I was going to buy like, 1,000 shares or something. I look dumb now. It's never too late. And I think after this stream, I'm going to go grab some shares of stock because I continually talk about it, but I never do anything about it. And that's the problem. Now, this is not financial advice. I cannot tell you to go buy Intel stock, right? I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. So if you do want to look into this, you have to be your own decision maker. I'm definitely not the one to be giving financial advice to the viewers, but this is a personal thing for me that I've been eyeing for the last year or so, and I just never pulled the trigger. I think I'm going to do that after the show. Look, it's at 82.57 right now per share. And I personally believe that Intel is going to, I think this could double. I think if we're sitting here this time next year, and we may revisit this 6 months from now, I think this can double. Now, how high could it go? Who knows? But right now, they're on the right track. Look at its competition. NVIDIA, up 4%. AMD, up 13%. Microsoft, up 2%. Now, as you know, markets fluctuate. But out of all of its competitors, even Qualcomm, I think Intel is best suited for the future computing world, right? What they have with their new Panther Lake, what they have, which is an 18A node, it's a 1.8 node process, and they're already working on 14A, which is 1.4 nanometer process. Those are going to be powering data centers. Those are going to be powering Elon Musk's new Terafab project. So this is another business deal that helped their stock price shoot up. Elon Musk is in the process of his new Terafab project. He wants to be making all of his own CPUs for his Teslas, for the rockets that they shoot up. All those need processors. Well, he wants to be his own manufacturer because in the long run, it'll save his company billions of dollars, not just in money, but also depending on chips on the supply chain. If you make your own CPUs, you don't have to depend on you don't have to depend on TSMC to provide you CPUs. Now, it's a almost impossible feat to say, like me, if I said I want to I'm going to start my own chip making business, I would get laughed out of the building anywhere I mentioned that, right? And rightfully so. It's literally almost impossible. Now, if anybody can do it, Elon Musk can do it. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of his, but if anybody can do it in the world, he can. But he has to have strategic partnerships in the beginning to kind of help get him and his Terafab up and running. So he struck a deal with Intel. Intel's going to provide them. Intel's going to be manufacturing and working with the Elon Musk and his Terafab project to get it up and running. But this deal is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and I think it's over the next few years. So this will certainly help him and his company get up and running, but it's those strategic partnerships that helped shoot the stock price up. Now, that's not the only one. The more people use these new Panther Lake CPUs, and they just were introduced to the market in about a year after, most people that buy a new computer with a Panther Lake, or they see that maybe in 2 years when they see the difference, oh wow, this new Panther Lake CPU, I get twice as good battery life, and man, this is a strong performing CPU. Once people start getting a little experience with these, then they're probably going to stick with them. And it's going to take a year or two for people to get familiar with these new CPUs that Intel has. It's going to take a couple years for them to strike huge deals providing CPUs manufacturing to other tech companies like a Tesla, right, or a SpaceX. It's going to take a few years to build these relationships for Intel to regain customer confidence again. Now, right now, TSMC is essentially the only major chip manufacturer in the world as far as they have a rock solid product. When you partner with TSMC, you know what you're getting. And that's why they are so backed up on orders as far as Google using them to manufacture the Tensor. Apple uses them to manufacture all of their CPUs. They cannot build more factories fast enough. So the people that are, TSMC is having to tell people, look, we can't do it right now. Well, where do those people go? Intel. So Intel's not only designing and manufacturing their own CPUs in these Panther Lake CPUs and the new 14A node, and they are also getting into the position where TSMC is at right now. So they're in a perfect example is with the Terafab, is with Tesla, is with Elon Musk, because Intel is going to manufacture these new processors for Elon Musk to start them out. And they're essentially taking all of the customers that TSMC is saying, sorry, we're too busy to manufacture your CPU. They're going to go straight to Intel. Now, Intel, look, this is not is there a risk? Yes. They have a very, very promising future. But, they could run into some roadblocks, some hiccups, some road bumps, speed bumps along the way. So nothing is given. But right now, where we sit at this very moment, they have something very, very special with this new processing node. What I want to do is I want to look at, so right now they have their barn burner, meaning the CPU that's generating all of this noise, all of these eyes on their company, is the current 18A, which is a 1.8 nanometer. That's pretty freaking amazing. TSMC is just now manufacturing 2 nanometer processors, right? The processor that's in the S26 Ultra, the brand new S26 Ultra, that's a 3 nanometer. And TSMC's literally last month just started the very first 2 nanometer. So Intel's already ahead of the game on efficiency on these nanometers. They're already starting production or test production on 1.4 nanometers, the very next generation of CPUs. 18A, which is Panther Lake, which is the one everybody's talking about, focuses on rebuilding, as I mentioned, that trust with companies. And then the 14A, their next generation CPU, that's where they're really going to start killing the game with the market. And that's why I still believe their stock price is going to go way up, because the 18A, where we're at right now, currently is getting all the attention, but they're going to hit them with the 14A, the 1.4 nanometer in a year or two from now. That's really going to get all the customers, because I'm sure there's some companies out there that are still like, yeah, Intel's making a pretty good turnaround, but they've been bad for so long. We're still kind of iffy. I'm sure there's some companies like that, because you got to remember, these companies are potentially going to invest billions of dollars. So I think when Intel hits the market with this 1.4 nanometer chip in the next year or two, and the market sees how well this performs, then they are going to skyrocket to really, really good stock prices. So here's the difference, right? They are slightly different. It's not just the same node. The 1.8 is not necessarily, the 1.4, the future chip, is not the same as the 1.8. Technically, it's a different process, but they're currently working on it. So the 14A, the future chip, offers a 15 to 20% performance per watt improvement over the current 18A. Alternatively, it only runs off of 35% less power than the 18A. So you're going to get even better performance, even better battery life. So 18A represents, 1.8 nanometer, targeting 2025 and 2026 products, while 14A, the 1.4 nanometer node, is going to target later this year and next year products. Manufacturing techniques. The 14A introduces brand new technology, quote unquote turbo cells, for higher speeds, and utilizes high NA EUV technology to simplify manufacturing, which Intel claims resulted in better early stage yields. So this is look, we're really getting into the weeds now. Like, I'm sure I don't have a ton of viewers at the moment because this is some straight up nerd stuff. But, I like to discuss this every now and then. Look, I'm not always out to get the most views on every single thing I do. I want to discuss what I think is interesting. That's why I have a YouTube channel. But this will directly affect a lot of stuff moving into the future. And I do want everybody just to keep an eye. Right, I'm not telling you to buy Intel stock, but just keep an eye on Intel stock. I'm telling you, I think it's going to go even higher. So Intel has made a great turnaround. I think the 14A, the 1.4 nanometer, runs on lithography, and we talked about that last week, how the U.S. was actually blocking, I think it was helium, or the sale of a special ingredient that a China chip maker needs. They're blocking it because they were using lithography to manufacture these CPUs. So very interesting. But before we get out of here, let me get to maybe we'll do a giveaway. Hang on. I think this cat wants out of the room. Give me a second. We're going to move on to the 20th edition iPhone. And then we'll get out of here. Maybe we'll do a giveaway and then we'll get out of here. But let me let this cat out. Give me a second. Hang on. See? All right, so let's move into the 20th anniversary edition of the iPhone. Now, this is going to be, as I mentioned earlier, big changes are just over the horizon for Apple. They have a brand new CEO, and you're going to see the way things look. Their products, you're going to see Apple taking more chances because Apple's been playing it safe. Y'all know that. I know that. Apple's been playing it safe for years. Now, what do I mean by playing it safe? Well, they just put out the same iPhone every year for the last, 8 years. I mean, even this year's iPhone is essentially the same iPhone. They just put a They just made it look different up top, but where the cameras are at and the internals are essentially the same, right? It just looks a tiny bit different on the back. But you're going to see them introduce taking chances on new products that they're going to bring to the market. You're going to see the 20th anniversary edition of the iPhone will be a drastic change, meaning it's not going to look the same at all. This article right here, this inside information right here, directly proves it. So what Apple's going to do for this 20th anniversary edition is, what their big plan is, let me let the secret out. The big plan for Apple is, this is the roadmap right now. I kind of have to whisper because this is a secret. What Apple's planning to do for this 20th anniversary iPhone, it's going to be all screen, meaning no dynamic island, meaning no notch, literally all screen. They're going to go with an under display front facing selfie camera, and the display on the front is going to be quad nano curved technology. So it's going to have a curved display around all four sides, similar to the Motorola Signature. You know, if I'm sure most of y'all don't, but the Motorola Signature has curved sides, kind of like the OnePlus 13, where it's a little curved on the side. But the OnePlus 13 just has curves on the side. The Motorola Signature is curved on the sides and curved on the top and the bottom. So when you hold the Signature, it just looks like you're holding a display. Now the Signature has a hole punch for the front-facing selfie camera, but Apple's going to take it one step further and just be all display. Boom. Again, pretty freaking amazing. Now, what we don't have information on is what the back is going to look like. That's when I think they're going to make drastic changes in the way the iPhone looks, is starting with the iPhone 20 and or the 20th anniversary edition, and then after that. So I think that's when you're going to see the back of the iPhone really look different, right? And again, the current iPhone, yeah, you could say it looks different because they have that camera island up there, but look where the sensors are. It's still in that triangle position. Those three sensors look the same as an iPhone 12, right? Or 12 or 13. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where they're going to put the camera sensors on the back. Is it going to be across? Are they going to be in a line like Samsung? Is it going to look like a Pixel? I have no clue. But we do know that the front is going to be all display, under display selfie camera, and quad nano curved AMOLED display. And here's digital chat station. Now, he is in Asia. I think this guy is an American living in Asia, because I was looking at his leaks the other day. I was going through all of his leaks, and I was like, you know what? He writes actually really good English, and I'm not dissing anybody that, you know, is a foreigner or outside of America. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, usually when you see people, I'm talking about writing in English. Normally, if English is their second language, you know, their writing will depict that, right? Like you can see a word or two doesn't fit in right, or they'll use words incorrectly. His English is pretty freaking good in writing, which makes me think he's probably an American that lives in Asia, because he all of his stuff, all of his leaks are money. I think all of them have come true. But he writes in here that says, well, supply chain feedback indicates that Apple is working with Samsung to make filterless screens, and is also customizing a slightly curved, quad curved design. Trends are cyclical. I was just telling you about English and I can't even read. So we've known for years that Apple is going to introduce an under display Face ID. We've known this. They've been, when I first started this YouTube channel 3 years ago, I was hearing inside information that that there's iPhones out there that have under display front facing selfie cameras. And I was like, what? No way. And that was 3 years ago. So they've been working on this for years. And I've seen a leaked roadmap of Apple. In fact, I made a video about it last year that says 20th anniversary edition, they're going for under display front facing selfie camera. And this article proves it. Now, going back to the last article, the one that we were just talking about, this one displays their intentions for a quad nano curved display. So say what you like about Apple, but the emergence of their new CEO, I'm telling you, is going to bring drastic changes for Apple products. Now, you're going to start seeing AMOLED displays on MacBooks, on iPads. You're going to see, at some point, 120 hertz refresh rate. You're going to see their new home products that they've been working on this new home. It's like a AI or robot assistant that is meant for your kitchen or your living room that's supposed to help you out with your daily activities. They got a lot of stuff up their sleeve, but they will bring new stuff to the market with this new CEO, right? So that'll be interesting to see. And of course, they're coming out with their new iPhone Fold here later this year. So it'll be interesting. Doesn't really make me want to get one. I think it would be cool and look cool, but again, once you start using it, it's all downhill from there. Like iOS sucks, in my opinion. It blows. I can't use it. It blows my mind that people, honestly, that people use iPhones. Like, I'm like, really? Really? iPhone? Really? I find the operating system to be, I don't even know what the right word is. I find it to be dumb. I'm sure I could find a better word, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Android is far superior operating system. It's easier to use. You can actually do way more on an Android phone. I was just talking to one of my YouTube friends last night. He was saying, I can't go over, he didn't want to go over 6 hours on a stream because StreamYard won't let you edit videos that are over 6 hours. And I was like, dude, do you have an Android phone? Like, no, I got an iPhone. I was like, of course. Because I was telling him, I have an application. Now it's an APK I have to download, but still, you can still do that, right? It's Android. Making it a little harder, but you can still do it. And I was telling him, dude, I have an app I can download a 24-hour stream. I can download it on my phone. I can edit it on my phone. I do it every day. That's where I get all my clips from and stuff. So, like iPhone, you can't even download APKs to do special stuff. It's very restrictive, and I just don't like it. But let's see here. Most people, man, my monitor is small, my computer. Most people, especially young people, are so used to the Apple ecosystem. But yeah, I agree that Android is better because it's basically more freedom. It is, and that's why they got so much pushback for. They wanted to restrict APK, third-party app usage and downloads and installs. You get a ton of pushback in Google, and they've kind of backed off of the whole third-party app thing because you can still do it today. So I think they got a lot of pushback, and I believe in the future you still will be able to download an APK and install it on your phone. Maybe have to jump through an extra hoop or two or go through an extra step or two, but you'll still be able to do it. I depend on 3 APKs that I use on a daily basis. If I had to move to an iPhone, it would just destroy me. Like, I wouldn't even be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't. So reply to you. I'm replying to you right now. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much, sir. It's my ID. Yes, it is. Identification. Insta. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Well, let's do I am Power Mind. That sounds like a superhero, like a Power Mind. I think that's like a Marvel. It's a pretty good name. I like that. I like that. I'm replying to you right now, sir. Thank you for joining us. I tell you what. Why don't we save the giveaway for tomorrow? I'll schedule it right now for tomorrow so we can get a few more people in here. Why don't we do that? Plus, I'll have more stuff to talk about. I actually need to record a video here shortly. So, is there anything else going on? Damn, I've been on for an hour. Let's see. iPad could sport a new naming scheme. See, that comes with a new CEO. They wouldn't do that if the CEO would not want to do that. Change up naming schemes. Shut down, restart. Microsoft changes Windows to ease PC users' frustrations. Okay. Interesting. Well, it's Saturday evening. So appreciate the time. Thank you very much for joining me. Stick around, subscribe to the channel. I'll schedule the giveaway for tomorrow. In fact, I'll schedule it right now. So join me tomorrow. We'll do the giveaway, and we'll have some more technology to talk about. So appreciate the time. Everybody, please have a safe but enjoyable Saturday evening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Peace out. Take care. Thank you.